Oh.
Hi. Are we here? We're live. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi, everyone. We're so excited for this live. So this is my friend Sara. She knows all things Star Wars. So I wanted to bring her on here to talk about the Bad Batch. Star Wars or Disney came out with a special for Star Wars Day. As you can see, we have our Star Wars shirts. We got our cups. We're ready.
We're ready. It's
This
May the
is
4th.
real.
May the 4th, 2021.
May the 4th, yes. So, introduce yourself. Tell them everything about you.
Yeah, so hello. I'm Sara Edwards. I'm the resident Star Wars writer at the Boardwalk Times, and we're basically a startup publication about all things Disney news, including Star Wars. And today is actually my 1-year anniversary, so exciting times.
I love that.
But yeah, and then I host a podcast with my friend Giovanni Delgadillo, and we talk about everything Bad Batch. We recap episodes as they are released.
One came out today, right?
One came out today. We started with The Mandalorian season 2, so kind of late in the game, but you know what? We're here. So yeah, we started this morning, and we have our first episode up on Anchor.
That's awesome. Yay. Yay, yay. So yeah, go check her out if you want to see more. If you really like this podcast, go check them out. And also, if you can't watch this entire podcast, make sure to subscribe to our podcast highlights channel where I'll take clips from this and you can just watch it. And then we also have merch. So link in the description. And since you came onto this podcast, you will be getting a free shirt. Yes, I want to give people shirts that come onto the podcast because it means a lot to me.
So excited to wear it. I've been waiting for merch.
Yay! Okay, so let's get into this. What were your first impressions of the episode? Look at you! You're already stressed.
I've been waiting for this episode. So literally a year ago today, we got the last episode of the Clone Wars, and my heart was just on the floor because I grew up with the Clone Wars. This was the part of Star Wars that I got to see come out. Mm-hmm. Every Friday at 7 o'clock or whenever Cartoon Network aired it was my time.
Oh, yeah, it did come out. I just didn't watch it when it came out.
I got into it late, so I started midway through season 2. But once I did, I was like, oh, yes, this is me. I just connected with it so well.
Yeah, my dad would say, season 2 of Clone Wars is good. Because, season 1, I couldn't get into it. I'm sorry.
And I get that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get into it. But, my dad's start at season 2, and, it gets better and stuff.
Yes.
And I'm trying.
Trust me, I felt the same way where I was like, no, season 1. But after you watch the rest of the show, you kind of appreciate it.
Right.
But anyway.
Right. Okay.
But, so when they said Bad Batch was coming out May 4th, I was just the nostalgia is coming back. Because even though we're streaming, and it's not the same as waiting till 7 with your dinner and whatever on Cartoon Network.
Right.
We're still getting an episode every Friday, and it's just the nostalgia, the wave. So it's I'm a kid again.
Yeah.
So I got up this morning and watched the episode, and I think my mouth was just hung open the entire time. But in a good way. There were so many things that were not necessarily spoiled, but were predicted for the show. And a lot of it just happened so fast. It was oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
Yeah. So what was your first, can you explain the Bad Batch? Because I watched episode 1 and 2 of the 7th season.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay, we're getting introduced to them. But I don't think I know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So explain it for the people that don't know.
So Clone Force 99 is essentially an experimental group of clones. They have desirable mutations. So Hunter, he can track anyone from anywhere just by the vibrations and the movements of the ground and through soil and whatnot. Tech, he's really good with computers. Echo is a cyborg, so he can hack into things. Wrecker is huge and can just bash through walls.
Love him.
And then there's Crosshair. He's just a really amazing sharpshooter.
Right.
So Echo is the newest one to the batch.
Right, because he was
he was
dead?
a former ARC trooper. He was killed.
Hold on. I need to know. Now sorry, guys. We're going way back now. Because
it's a long, yeah.
Because he died in season 3.
He died in season 4, I believe. But he was going to get a shuttle when they were escaping a place called the Citadel, and unfortunately he got shot. They didn't put enough emphasis on his death, but that crushed me. But before Bad Batch, Echo was this man, he was an ARC trooper. He had started from the very bottom. His whole squadron had been wiped out in season 1, and he just kept making his way up with his partner Fives, who unfortunately is also killed in season 6.
Don't even, because when I first saw like the Clone Wars and stuff, Fives was my favorite from season 1.
Same.
And then he just died. And the thing is, dude, I was thinking about it and I was like, the way that he died, because he was like, guys, something is wrong.
Hurt.
I was
Yes.
like, don't even come to my grave. I'm not trying to say no sorry. I was trying to warn y'all from way back when.
He's literally just out here like,
Ooh.
I told y'all, like, all of this could have been prevented if y'all just listen to me. But I mean, a lot of it is the Kaminoans' fault, but that's a whole nother. Yeah, because if you watch the episode, like, the Kaminoans are trying to keep Order 66 and the
Is that the
long,
people?
tall, yeah.
The bean people with the long legs?
Yes.
Okay, no, yeah, they were terrible. I'm like, okay, they're on the Imperial side.
Yeah, and
Something
I
like
mean,
that.
they kind of always have been. This was like a setup, so to speak. But so they were trying to keep Fives under wraps. They're like, oh no, he's figuring this out. We can't let that happen.
Right.
Because not only are we going to have a bunch of clones that we're going to have to deal with, but we're going to lose our main source of income. Like, a whole bunch of stuff is going to go wrong. So...
Okay, so that's what that was. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, they're bad. Like, they're definitely...
They're horrible.
They're the bad. Okay? But, so now okay, since now we're caught up. But no, we're not caught up. Who's the Bad Batch? What is
the Bad Batch are, like I said, these mutated clones, but they're mutated in a desirable way. So in the beginning of season 3, we see 99. He's this mutated clone, but not in a desirable way. He can't really fight. He's not really athletic.
The old guy.
Yeah, the maintenance clone. So he's just there to clean up what the regs do.
Right.
So where 99 comes in is they have these desirable mutations. They have these abilities that no other clones have.
Yeah,
and so, cool. But they're different from regular clones. That's why the regular clones are called regs.
Y'all aren't cool like we are.
And basically they're just assigned to missions that need help. So like in Clone Wars, they go to help take over an Axis again and find Echo. At the beginning of this episode, we see them trying to help Master Balaba and Kanan. But so
who's guys? I don't think I know Star Wars. Oh,
okay,
no.
if you watch, so when you finish Clone Wars, you have to start Rebels. It's worth it, I promise.
Okay. My dad also said, yeah.
Yes, definitely get through like the first seasons, and the last season just like.
Kills
like
you.
Yes, I just finished Rebels probably a few weeks ago, and just so when Kanan came on the screen, I was like, oh my god, it's Kanan. So Kanan he's a Padawan in the Bad Batch right now. But in Rebels, he's, we kind of see how Order 66 and him losing his master really shows his distrust for the clones. Like, he's trying to keep being a Jedi under wraps, but he still wants to use his skills to help others. He's He's an awesome character. You'll like him.
Okay, so I kind of like that I didn't watch Rebels then, so I can see where he started because like he definitely was like, I'm not having it. Y'all really killed my master. And...
You're gonna see you're gonna see him through a different lens than like those of us who watched Rebels first.
Right.
But it'll be a really cool journey.
That's interesting.
You.
So yeah, now I'm not gonna watch it. Now I'm gonna just wait so I can have a different perspective because I wonder if he's gonna be in this show anymore.
I don't think so, because you figure when we see him, he's running away from Hunter and Crosshair, mostly Crosshair, because Crosshair is the only one trying to kill him.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't think he will show up again. If he does, I feel like it'll be like a flash of something. Like Hunter is standing there and he sees a flash of a Jedi and he's like, is that the kid? But I feel like that's all we'll see of him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because I didn't know who that was. I was like, oh, cool, a kid. Like a kid.
You know, he showed up on screen. I was like, well, Master Balaba showed up, and I was like, oh, we're going here. Like, okay, like where's Kanan or Caleb as he's known, and you'll learn why he changed his name. But it was just kind of like, okay,
this is where we're at now. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so that was the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
And okay, so before we even start the rest of the episode, when I watched season 7, episode 1, my favorites automatically was Crosshairs and Tech. Like, those are my two favorite. And then this episode happened. Okay, let's just get into it. So, after the beginning, what happens? We're figuring out that Crosshairs is kind of like...
We're kind of like, what's wrong with you? Because he, while the clones have just killed Master Balaba, Crosshair's the only one who's like, we got to go after this Jedi. And the Bad Batch have no idea what's going on. Right. They're just like...
So
everyone's suddenly changed now.
Right. So when they were younger or whatever, when they were made, they didn't get the chip or something, or?
From what I understand is I think they got the chip, but it's programmed differently. So like Crosshairs is the closest to the clones, the regular clones one because of his sharpshooting abilities. I think that's what I'm
that makes
interpreting it as.
Okay.
But yeah, so and Echo, as they explained, like because he was on Skako Minor, he was an experiment. He's half robot.
Right.
So if his chip is still there, but it's pretty much damaged. Like there's they would have to replace it, which would be a whole nother issue.
Other thing. So okay.
So
the Crosshairs that you saw in this show, in this episode, did his personality line up with what you've seen before, or?
I didn't want to believe so because I saw a lot of these things on TikTok where it was like, I think this is gonna happen, and Crosshair turning against the Empire was like the number one rumor that was floating around. And it was kind of one of those things where I was like, well, yeah, he's kind of like a quiet dude. Like, I don't want to just assume that they're going to take the quiet dude and make him evil. So as we came closer to, like, we saw more trailers and stuff, I was kind of like, okay, I'm starting to see it. I just didn't think they were going to do it in this episode either. Like I said, the theme of me watching this episode is, oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And so Crosshairs is like, maybe I'm bad, maybe I'm not, but we need to follow orders.
He's definitely confused. And that's the biggest thing is when he starts saying like, we have to follow orders, good soldiers follow orders. That's what we saw in Fives' story arc when he's discovering the chips, is they all say good soldiers follow orders after Order 66 is executed.
Yeah.
So once he started saying that, I was like, oh,
something's wrong.
And even like the scene where they're in the little holding cell and Omega's like, I can tell, you just can see him like rubbing his head. He's fighting with himself.
Yes. Oh no, I'm sad now.
Yeah, that's why like a lot of people were just like, Crosshair, no, screw you. But you know, for me, it was like my heart broke because he's kind of fighting with himself, but after they take him in, they make his programming stronger, so he's just like he's a slave to them now.
People should not be like, oh, Crosshairs, you're the bad guy. It's like, okay, it's just like Bucky Barnes. He's like brainwashed, so you can't be mad at Crosshairs. You have to be mad at the Empire.
And you know, you really just saw how the Bad Batch just saw each other as a family. Like in the Clone Wars, we see the 501st with like Rex and Fives. They're close. They love each other.
Don't say Fives. It's so sad.
But like the Bad Batch, as we're watching this episode, like they wouldn't, you know, they probably wouldn't go out to say they love each other, but they genuinely care for each other. Yeah. Like they care for their well-being. They treat each other like they are literally brothers. And I just thought all the casual scenes where it's like, oh, we're coming home, and oh yay, we're here. God, it smells bad in here again. And I just loved seeing that little banter. But it just broke me when they took Crosshair and you just see them like, our brother is not the same.
He's just kind of switched over. Yeah, I think you're right now when you're saying, wow, it happened this fast. Like maybe they should have waited until the until like Friday's episode to have him change so we can like feel it more. Maybe, and like even especially for people that don't really know what's going on, like me, I'm like, I was still hurt because I liked Crosshairs, but I feel like if they dragged it out, you would have felt it more.
I think so. I kind of like the way they positioned it because, like, you got an idea of who Crosshair was in the Clone Wars. Like, he's just the quiet sharpshooter. He's really cool. He does some pretty awesome stunts. So, like, I wasn't expecting to do this. I really hate that they did make him turn to the Empire, but, like, I see why they did it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, throughout the whole episode, you just kind of see Hunter, like, struggling to try and keep everyone together, mostly with Crosshair, because Crosshair is questioning him.
Right.
And the rest of the other members aren't, you know, saying
they're just kind of like, we're chilling.
Yeah, they're like, just tell us what to do.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. Like, just I think that it was good that they did the whole Crosshairs thing. If they didn't like have one of them turn, it would have been like, well, what is our connection here? But having Crosshairs be like, okay, I'm bad now. How are like the Bad Batch gonna fight him?
Yeah.
Is he gonna end up dying in the end?
Well, so one of the rumors actually was that Cody was gonna be the one who's fighting them, and that was gonna be the yellow trooper from the commander who tries to kill Obi-Wan in Episode 3.
Yes. No. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yes.
So that, because we don't know what happened to Cody. We see he tries to kill Obi-Wan, and after that, that's it. Like, we don't know if he's alive. We don't know if he's trying to hunt Obi-Wan. Like, we don't know. So the thinking from a lot of people was that Cody was going to be the one to go after the Bad Batch, and that's how they were going to lead him to a bunch of other Clone Wars characters that are supposedly going to be introduced.
Did we see Cody?
There was speculation. There was like a black trooper in the trailer. There was speculation that was going to be Cody, but now we kind of have confirmation that that's Crosshair. It's not Cody.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, Crosshair. But okay, so now let's talk about Omega. So when I first saw her, I thought she was a boy, but that's kind of like how I think that's what they were trying to go for, because we find out that she's a clone. Which is like clone.
She's a mutation.
Whoa! Like I was like, okay, when I first saw the Bad Batch, I was like, you know what would be so cool? There was a girl in the Bad Batch, and then
they did it. They were like, here you go.
So she's like the first female clone.
Yeah, and so she's from what I understand, is she's also part of this experimentation of different clones. Or I think she's a clone that went wrong. She became a female, and so I think the Kaminoans are like, well, we can't exactly send her into battle, or at least that's their thinking. They don't want to send her into battle. So they were like, we'll just make her our medical assistant, and she's a clone herself. She knows her body. That hers is very similar to the clone. Like, I think that was their thinking.
Right.
So
that makes sense, because they're like, probably like, oh, girls, no, whatever.
Yeah, like, girls can't fight, and trying to.
But I liked her personality was consistent with the clones, because the clones are always like, we're ready to fight. We're ready for battle.
Homegirl was ready to defend the battle. I just love how she really looked up to them. And I say this in my podcast, is like, she looks at them because she has nowhere else to go. Like, she's not really fitting in with the Kaminoans because, she's a medical assistant, but they know the clones. And she's like, I'm just here because I don't really have anyone else.
Right, yeah. And I thought she was a bad guy. I thought she was like gonna be an infiltration, like sneaky kind of person. But no, she's actually like, hey, I need a family because nobody else understands me, kind of thing. And then I'm comparing her to Grogu, because I'm like, they're gonna take care of her and stuff.
Like the second she came in, I was like, this is gonna be like a similar Mandalorian thing, except with clones and not a Mandalorian.
Right. Yeah.
But I just also like how she's not helpless. Like, we see this. She knows how to defend herself. She shows that she wants to be a part of the
It's in her blood.
Yeah. Right. She was literally bred to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to see how her relationship with the Bad Batch, especially Hunter. Like, Hunter, he just was like, yes, kids. Like,
Hunter, and his name is Rex, right? Rhett. The buff guy.
Oh, Wrecker.
Rex, I'm sorry.
Rex is Anakin's captain, but we love Rex.
Yeah, we love Rex. Oof, I'm not there, guys. Okay, Wrecker. And also, he's gonna be like a protector kind of person.
Yeah. Wrecker's also just a giant kid. Like, we see it with this Tuca doll. Oh my god.
But did they introduce that doll before? Or?
No, this was the first time. Because, like, in Clone Wars, he's just like, I want to blow stuff up. Like, let's blow stuff up.
Right,
like, life is black and white to him. It's eat, sleep, blow things up. So when we really see this big kid side of him, he's just a child in a man's body. Like, with Kanan, he's like, I love this kid. He wants chaos. And then you see with Omega, like, she started a food fight. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. And then, we just see him when they go back to the barracks, and he's like, where's my Lula?
Yeah, he's just a big kid, but we love him.
We love him so much. Like, if I could not choose a favorite Bad Batch character. I love them all. Like, you can't make me choose.
I mean, I really like just Crosshair's vibes. I like the book. I've always gone for like a Crosshairs kind of person, or like a tech kind of person.
Yeah.
Like with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's always what's his name? It starts with the D. You know what I'm talking about, guys. You know what I'm talking about. The guy with the purple. You know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
It's always like the smart guy. So I like tech, and we'll see where he goes with it, and then Crosshair is part of the Empire.
I think what's going to happen is, like, the whole season could possibly just surround them trying to get Crosshair back. Because they have this brotherhood bond that they're not just going to abandon. They're going to be like, all right, he's part of the Empire trying to kill us. Like, bye.
I wonder how they're going to do that, because... So remember, AZ? Is that his name? So AZ was there with Fives. So AZ might be like, hey, I know how to get the thing out of the thing.
It's possible. Because when AZ came up, I was like, oh my god!
Yeah.
Because he first showed up, I think, when Echo woke up after the food fight and getting hit with the tray. And at first I was like, no, please don't tell Echo that Fives is gone. Like, I don't need this today.
Yeah, never
But, yeah. But then I was just like, there's no other droid like him. And then he said his number. I was like, Same boy, same boy.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if they're even going to go back to Camino. We really don't know because a lot of the trailer footage was used in this first episode. There's a few little snippets of things that like are gonna happen later in the season, but for the most part, like we've seen almost everything. It's all a big surprise now.
Right. So Camino is where?
Camino's where the cloning facilities are. So the rainy planet that they go to.
Okay. So that's where AZ like headquarters.
Yeah.
And so they can bring Crosshairs there if they like knock him out and be like, take
like, hey man,
take it out. Because I don't know, I like with Fives they weren't able to do it. So.
No, Fives they did take out his inhibitor chip, but the Kaminoans tried to play it off of like, oh, he removed his chip, that's why he went crazy. Like they tried to just say like it's a defunct, like everything is fine. It was like a big cover up.
And the way that Anakin didn't believe him, I mean, I understand. I mean, from Anakin's perspective, Fives was a little crazy.
Yeah.
A little bit, I was like,
Can
Fives,
we also
calm down.
talk about how like the arc where Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Order and the arc where Fives discovers the inhibitor chips are back to back. Really? So like this is Republic scandal, like back to back to back, and Anakin is caught in the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, then he turns into Darth Vader. So
Anakin, why?
That reminds me, I cannot wait until that show comes out, the Obi-Wan show. Look at you!
As a strong Obi-Wan fan, like I have been waiting for this show. Like I remember when they announced it, I was like, give me the release date, like tell me the details, I want to know. And then when they said they were doing a pause, I was just like, all right, okay, you chose to go this path. So it's just so cool to see like it actually happening.
And it's 10 years after part 2. Which, guess, not 10 years, 20 years. 20 years, yeah, it came out in 2002.
Oh,
part 2.
Oh, we're talking years. I thought you were talking about like in Star Wars, Camlin. Yeah, 10 years.
10 years and 10 years in Star Wars world, 20 years in our world, which is crazy because I was looking up Hayden Christensen's age and 40.
He looks so good. 40?
Why are people growing up? I don't like that.
Can we just talk about how he looks so good though?
Right?
Like,
yeah, even Ian McGregor, he's 50. Like they all look really good.
Yes.
Like
just looks amazing.
Just like I was Hayden's age when he was filming episode 2, which is like he was 20. I looked it up and I was like, bro, it's just like, first of all, what am I doing? Give me a role. Give me a Star Wars role.
Like we're ready. We're here. Dave Filoni, if you need anything.
Hey, you know, where have I heard that name? He's done something else as well.
So Dave Filoni is Clone Wars. He didn't have a lot of involvement with Bad Batch, I don't believe anyway, but he created Ahsoka. He did a lot of Mandalorian directing.
Okay, yeah, I can see his face. I remember now. What he
we love that man.
But I feel like I've recently heard his name. Did he do Falcon Winter Soldier stuff as well?
I don't know.
Anyone know?
Yeah, if you know, definitely send a comment. But no, we love him. He like I said, he created Ahsoka, and like we said this on our podcast, like when we were doing Mandalorian, is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, who does it with him, like they are Star Wars fans. They know what we want to see.
Jon Favreau did so good with Mandalorian. Like I'm not, like, as you can see, I'm not a giant Star Wars fan, but I love Mandalorian. Like I'm there for that show. And the thing is, I wanted to talk about that as well with how they're pushing it to next year, December or something like that, or just next year in general, and having the Boba Fett show come out this year. And I'm wondering, do you think that they'll do like 2 years in the future and have something with Grogu where he's a little bit older, or like is it just gonna be right back to back? I
don't know. From what it seems like is, we're gonna have Boba Fett, and Mando's supposed to show up in Boba Fett. Like it's rumored that he's gonna appear. So I assume that they're gonna do some kind of time jump because, like, let's be honest, most people were watching Mandalorian because of Grogu. I mean, like, how can you say no to this face?
Like, come on, like, yeah. I would love to see. I want to see Grogu with a lightsaber. Like, I need to see him older, kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that will just hurt, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I feel like they could still do a lot with the Mandalorian, but like, everyone loved that bond between Grogu and Mando. Yeah. Like, and now we don't have it anymore. I'm wondering if the next season we're going to see is how Mando is picking himself up. Because season 2 kind of destroyed him. He lost his ship. Yeah. He's like, Grogu went with Luke. He's kind of just like, all right, what do I do? He took his helmet off. So is he going to go back to the strict Mandalorian creed he was following? Or is he going to follow Bo-Katan?
Right. Like with the whole like new
Death
Mando
Watch. Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So that's another one.
Bo-Katan, like, is it Bo-Katan?
I think Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. So she's gonna go crazy because because Mando has like the lightsaber. So she's gonna be like, I don't care about friendship.
She's like, sir,
everybody's dying.
And we were talking about this is that, when she got the Darksaber in Rebels, she didn't get it herself. Another character got it and gave it to her.
But you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, and she took it like, oh, it's ours now. I don't know why now it's a problem. Like, I wonder if what's his name? Moff Gideon was just like trying to set the guilt on her because,
right.
Bo-Katan had her sister, and it seems like she's trying to restore Mandalore to how Satine wanted it. So I wonder if she's trying to stand more true to those values.
Maybe, because I really like that season finale because she was like, let me have Moff. I don't care about anybody.
She's like, don't touch him.
And then he does anyways. Oh, it's gonna be so interesting because I think that'll be really good if they focus on Bo-Katan and Mando and don't even okay, yes, we love Grogu, but like have Grogu in the background because you can't just automatically bring him back after going with Luke.
Exactly. It wouldn't fit. It would be kind of weird. And they're gonna have to do some kind of jump in time if they want to tie it in with Kylo Ren. Like, if they're gonna tie that in at all, they're gonna have to do a huge jump. I don't even know if they're gonna do that.
No, you think they're gonna bring in Kylo Ren?
I don't know. I don't think so. But there were a lot of people saying, like, was Grogu at the temple when Kylo left? Like, or when that whole thing. Temple? Yeah, because remember, Kylo was a student of Luke's,
right?
When he was Ben Solo. So a lot of people were wondering, like, was Grogu there too?
This is no. I can't. Whoa.
And it was even an earlier theory when we didn't know what was going on with Bad Batch. It was also predicted that like the Bad Batch were the ones to save Grogu from the temple. Because we don't know how Grogu was saved at all. Like, he survived somehow. He was at the Jedi Temple. He's 50 years old.
Yo, wait. But, okay, let me get the timeline right. Mandalorian is after episode 6.
Yeah,
right?
But if you give or take a few years, like, Luke is probably like 25-ish at the end of episode 6. Mm-hmm. Grogu's 50. So, that would make Grogu like 30-something around the time of Revenge of the Sith. Mm-hmm. So he was at the Jedi Temple. He's definitely had some kind of Jedi training.
Okay.
So around Revenge of the Sith, Grogu's in his 30s.
Right. So where is Kylo Ren? Where is he?
He's not until like a while. So before episode 7 is probably when
he went crazy.
Yeah.
So Mandalorian is before we even meet Kylo.
Mandalorian is pretty much like, it could have happened like exactly right after episode 6 or while episode 6 is happening. Because we see a lot of like how the Death Star was destroyed. So it could be a few years or so after
I'm just trying
the
to
Death
see
Star blew up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how they are going to meet. I'm just trying to see where the crossing of Mandalorian in episode 7. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't, that's the thing is like, I don't know if it could happen because you figure Mando's older than Luke. So for all we know, by the time episode 7 is happening, Mando's like not around anymore. He's dead somehow. Oh, I know. I don't want to think about it either.
I mean, he's on episode 7, so he has to die or go away. But I mean, he could go away because Boba Fett went away and came back and was like, hey.
He was like, hey, I got eaten, found my way out. So
they always...
I'm actually very excited to have Boba Fett back. Like, he was kind of one of those like, we saw him in Clone Wars and he was a little brat, and then he kind of had a redemption in Mandalorian. He's like, look, I just want my armor back, just want to carry my dad's name. Like,
Boba Fett was a little kid.
All he wanted to do was kill Mace Windu because Mace Windu killed Jango. So he was just all anger, all revenge, and I think sometime after Clone Wars, he's like, I can't do this anymore. Also, Mace is dead after episode 3, so...
Dead! I really hope he comes back. I hope, like, something...
They've teased it. Like, on Samuel L. Jackson's birthday...
Like, he wants to.
Yeah!
You know?
And on his birthday, the Star Wars account was like... I don't know, it was like gone but not forgotten. They said something where it was just like, you can't say that and say Mace Windu is gone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes you rethink that death scene, like...
Because the thing is, my dad always says, like, he just got blasted out of the whatever window. He could have easily flipped.
He could have flipped.
And landed on something.
Once the Force lightning is stopped, like, maybe he recollected his senses and
did
I
something.
mean, it's possible.
Mhm.
Like, I know
Nobody's dead until their limbs are gone.
like
in the
literally,
ground, okay?
like Boba Fett survived. Darth Maul comes back like 3 times. Like, what? Also, why is Darth Maul the character that always comes back? Like, why can't we bring back Grievous? He's way cooler.
I mean, yeah, no, General Grievous was always my favorite, even before like seeing Clone Wars and stuff like that. He's just so cool with all these like lightsabers and stuff. I've always loved him.
Also, there's just so much like Darth Maul. Like, yeah, he had a cool arc in the Clone Wars, but like, does he really need to come back?
But Darth Maul with the two lightsaber. That's all I care about. 2 lightsabers. Doom.
Like, for me, if I would be happy if they just kept bringing Grievous back, because Grievous is a literal cyborg. Like, they could do whatever the heck they wanted.
Just rebuild him and stuff.
Yeah. So, I don't know. If they bring Grievous back, that's how you know that you just can't die in Star Wars.
Yeah,
Fennec Shand, even. Like, she just got shot once and Boba Fett fixed her, and now she's back.
Fine. Yeah.
You don't, like, actually die in Star Wars.
No, you don't.
Unless you're Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yes, okay, I had to think about it. I was like, who? And I was like, the guy is Obi-Wan's master, right? Okay. But like I didn't even care for a Boba Fett series until watching Mandalorian. I was like,
same.
Oh, okay, so he's cool. Okay, then
That scene where he took Jabba's palace, I was like, oh yeah.
No.
Homeboy means business.
Right? So I think for me, I just really enjoyed the live action Star Wars. I think that's what it is for me. And I'm trying to get into the Clone Wars. I know everything connects. And the thing is, that's the problem sometimes with these big franchises. And I got lucky with Marvel because Marvel started when I was 8, so I was able to just grow up with it, you know. So I'm already in it. But I feel like if somebody right now is gonna start Marvel, they'd be like, I don't know, just forget it,
like
throw it
me.
away, like right now, throw the whole thing away. I don't know. But so that's what I'm like. Okay, I'm trying to get into Star Wars. Let me try.
But like that's how I was with the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars is the glue that holds it all together. So like I grew up with that, so that's kind of how. My big, like I watched the movies before I got into the Clone Wars, but you know, I grew up with the Clone Wars, so I grew up with the answers to the potholes and to the questions. So now that I watch all these live action stuff come out, I'm just like, I know where that happens. I know what this means. And part of it is so cool because it's like, do other people know? And some people do and some people don't.
That's
like,
the thing. That's what I love about like when you get into something, and even like outside the movies, outside the shows, like you're reading stuff about it. And, like, and then like you like know everything. I love that feeling.
Even with the Star Wars books, like I really got into Star Wars books probably within this last year, and they are so slept on.
Do they connect?
They can, in some ways they do, like the canon, the Legends ones don't, but it does help provide some kind of it's just fun to read the Legends novels anyway, even though they're not canon anymore.
Yeah.
But a lot of the newer books that have come out have just really kind of just set up the Star Wars universe even more. Like the High Republic just came out. That's a new book series that's set way before Phantom Menace. And it just kind of shows what the Jedi were like in their prime before they were generals. So like when they were peacekeepers, when they were.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So
I think one thing that I have a problem with Star Wars is that we never get to see enough Jedi. Like we never get to see enough of them being like going for it. That's why I love the finale of Mandalorian when we saw
Luke went ham on those.
Went off, okay? And the scene with the Force, they don't. I feel like. They don't use enough force. I'm like,
they don't.
What are you doing? This blow them away.
Exactly. And like, I think I had talked about this before, but like, I can't remember if I had read this in a book or if it was a fan fiction. But there was like something that was saying that like Jedi can't use the force as well when they're in battle because they have to like concentrate. They have to connect with the force. And when you're in battle, like you're busy trying not to get killed.
Right.
So like. That it kind of explains why they don't use the force as much in combat, but like there's so many other ways that they could just channel it more.
And it'd be cool.
And like that's the whole thing that distinguishes them.
Yeah. The force. The force is so cool.
I know.
Is that it? Like what else happened in this episode?
We kind of got a little segue into the episode coming out on Friday when they mention Sector J19, which is
what is that?
A direction that I never thought they would go to. So in season 2 of the Clone Wars, they go to a planet called Seleucami. That's where they're going to chase Grievous. Captain Rex is shot and he has to take refuge in this farmer's barn. Well, the farmer is a renegade clone. And Seleucami...
Someone that just like that ran away?
Yeah, so I guess his battalion had gotten shot down on Geonosis. He was the only surviving one, and he was like, I can't do this. Like, no, this is not for me. He ran, ditched like everything about his cloneness, and just tried to become a normal man. He found a wife, he has a family. So he went to a backwater planet, Seleucami, Sector J19, where he could escape the war. Well, when the Republic chased Grievous there, that's how Rex found him. And so we just kind of see, his name's Cut LaQuaine, we see Cut just trying to live a normal life. He's like, I don't want to go back to the war. I can't do this. Like, it's not for me. So when the Bad Batch said Sector J19, I was just like, oh, he's coming back? Because it was just one of those episodes that I was like, this is just a great episode. It's one of those that I watch all the time. But so when they said J19, I was like, oh, I know where they're going with this. Yeah. But how?
So, like, what do you think is going to happen in the next episode?
What I think is that I don't know how the Bad Batch know Cut, because I felt like their stories were just so disconnected that it didn't seem possible. But it seems like Cut's either going to give them shelter or kind of help them lay low or hide from Crosshair. But it's really hard to say. Like, Cut has been out of the series for so long. It's like, you know, what could he possibly help them with?
Maybe Rex did down the grapevine, told everyone.
Maybe, I don't know, because Rex is supposed to show up in the show at some point. He shows up in the trailer.
Rex didn't die.
No, because he spoiler alert, he shows up in Rebels as an old man, as a boomer, a boomer clone, and it's the best thing ever. But yeah, so Rex is not dead. Him and Ahsoka, we see at the end of season 7 that we assume that they took off together. But as we saw in the trailer...
Time out. So Rex is a clone, but he didn't go bad? So we just have... time out. T. So we just have good clones. We just have a bunch of clones
So Ahsoka kind of discovered what happened with Fives as Rex is trying to kill her. So at first, Rex was affected by the chip. He was like, you know, we have to kill Ahsoka. She's a Jedi, even though she's really not a Jedi anymore. And my heart breaks just thinking about...
stop!
But basically, Ahsoka was like, Rex is my only friend on this ship, like, I need to save him. So she does some digging and finds out, like, it's these inhibitor chips. So she saves Rex, and they use a machine on the ship to take the chip out. So Rex is
I think I remember
good.
This. I think I remember this.
So Rex is good. He's not bait anymore. He's not a pawn.
Okay.
So we assumed that Rex and Ahsoka left the planet together to go hide. But from the trailer, we only see Rex, we don't see Ahsoka.
Oh, well, she might show up because she might show up, and then she might show up in he might show up in Mandalorian because she was in that show.
I would love that so much.
Yo, this is so good for you. Like,
there's so everything. Much, literally, like the way everything is connecting, it's just like,
That's exciting. I think that Star Wars has done it right, and Marvel has done it right with connecting everything and having a good story all around. Yes. DC, please catch up.
Step up your game. Like, I love DC for the Lego games.
Like, we're trying. Like, we want to love you, DC. Just get your stories together. Like, learn from Disney. Because Disney, it's so funny how Disney was like, yeah, we don't want Warner Brothers. We don't even need to buy it. No thanks.
That was funny.
Because they have Fox now. So we're gonna have Fantastic Four. Have you seen, I'm going all over the place. Have you seen the new Marvel trailer that came out yesterday?
No, I haven't. I am so where you're disconnected with Star Wars, I'm disconnected with Marvel. Like before WandaVision, I watched WandaVision. The last Marvel thing I think I saw was Black Panther when it came out.
Like 2018.
Yes, exactly.
There's so many. Wait, hold on a second. You haven't seen Infinity War or Endgame?
No. So my family's big into Marvel.
I want your brain so I can rewatch it again.
So my family, not to throw them under the bus on a live stream, but my family sees movies without me because either I'm at work or I go to school in Arizona. So they saw all these without me, and I was kind of like, eh. Like, I saw the first Avengers when I was in 6th grade, and I was like, this is cool, but it's just not it's not hitting me. Like, I'm not connected to it. And I have, I've seen I've seen all the movies that came out when we were in middle school. And Black Panther. I had to see Black Panther.
Yeah.
So I'm just so disconnected from it. Yeah. I will probably get into it at some point, at some point.
Yeah.
But I think Star Wars, just because it's so disconnected from any kind of reality we have, that's just where it hit me. Also, that chosen family trope, always gets me every time.
Oh,
so
yeah. I don't know. Marvel for me, I guess, people have different, loves, and I like that. So
but Marvel, I am so excited for because Boardwalk Times also produces Marvel recap podcasts. And so it's been fun to help produce those. So
let me let me get on there. I can talk about Marvel. I literally bring college papers on Marvel.
I love that for you.
Just get into it, man.
Oh, I love that so much.
Like for my final paper, I actually got an A on it. I'm really excited about that. And I talked about Endgame, so.
Yeah, I remember like in high school we had to do like a presentation on like who a good fictional character is and like based on archetypes and stuff, and I chose Fives and I did a whole PowerPoint on him, and I remember everyone's faces were just like, oh my god.
If you're passionate about it, you can really write about it and write like good or make good stuff from it.
And like when we were in high school and just grade school, like I feel like it was still just not really cool for women to be into Star Wars or Marvel. Like it was getting there. It was getting to the point where women could be nerds.
Right.
But there was a time where it was just like, you're a girl. You can't be a Star Wars fan or you can't be a Marvel fan.
Yeah.
And here I am just like, I'm one of the bigger fans.
Too bad. Yeah, you're like you're up there. You're like,
yeah,
I
can cream so many of my guy friends in knowledge. They're just like, oh dang, you do know your stuff.
I know. It's so funny when guys are like with Marvel. They're like, oh, you're just a Spider-Man fan. I'm like, why do you guys always do that? You're just a Tom Holland fan. I'm like, first of all, I don't like Tom Holland. I'm not gonna get into it right now. I don't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I'm not gonna get into it right now though. But why would you come for me like that?
Also, why do you assume that like we just watch the movies to simp for people? I mean, no. Not that it doesn't happen at all, but
sorry, I literally have to on my phone, so yes, maybe it's simp, but also I know what's going on.
Yeah, like we have brains, we can comprehend it. I just love when guys will be like, well, do you remember this scene in Star Wars? I'm like, well, what about when you remember this scene? They're like,
and detail too. Don't even try to give me the baseline. I want the details, the colors.
Like, tell me what you remember. I want to hear a line from the episode.
And not one of the famous lines. I want the line, like
the one that only another fan would be like, yes.
Right, that's funny.
Men are another breed.
Just for real. For real. I think that's it, though.
Yeah,
we're 41 minutes in. That's pretty good. We have 4 people on here. Oh my gosh, hi! Send us your questions. Send us your comments. What did y'all think about Bad Batch episode 1 or just special?
It's kind of like how the Clone Wars movie was, where it's like it's a movie, but it's like episode 1. Yes, that's how Ahsoka became Anakin's Padawan. It's all on Disney Plus.
No, wait, no. I think I saw. There's 2 of them, right?
So those are animated ones, like the they're both animated.
Yeah, they're both animated.
There's CGI, and then there's like the cartoonier ones. So there's one movie. It's just called Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's not. I forgot how to pronounce his name. But it came out like the movie that I'm thinking of, where Ahsoka becomes Anakin's Padawan, came out like right before the show, like a few months maybe. And then there's some even before then that are a little more cartoony. Kind of like Samurai Jack style animation.
The one with
those are way before that. Those are also good. But
yeah, I'm thinking of the one where Mace Windu's in it and he's fighting the the Imperial droids.
That's think the Samurai Jack one.
Okay.
Yeah, those are also really good. He went ham. Like, those are really good. They're very different than the Clone Wars we know now. So definitely, if you rewatch those, like, definitely be prepared for that. But they're still really good. Like, that's where we see Anakin become a knight. And
I feel like I've seen this because my brother would always be like, okay, we're watching episodes 1 and 2. Stop. We're not going to watch anything else. We're going to watch the Clone Wars movies. There's 2 of them. And then we watch part 3. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, they're very, like, Clone Wars, I believe, came out in, like, 2008. These came out, like, a few years before. So they're kind of, like, on their own. But they're still also really good. They don't provide, like, as much context into what's happening in Bad Batch. But they're good to watch if you just want some cool action.
Man, that's the thing. There's just too much stuff, and that's why my dad is a super fan with Star Trek, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, same. I'm just like,
there's so many shows. There's movies. I'm like, throw it away. I'm like, I can't get into it. So now I feel like I'm behind with Star Wars. I used to be a big Star Wars fan back in the day, but now it's like there's a bunch of things, and I'm like, oh.
I would say the nice thing with Star Wars, it's pretty easy to catch up, especially like if you just. Like, the episodes of all the animated stuff are really short. They're, like, 20 minutes.
Right, yeah.
So, like, Bad Batch, I think it's just 70 minutes, and then it's going to be, like, 30 minutes for episodes from here on out.
How many episodes is coming out?
From what we've heard is they're going to be 16.
Oh, that's good. That's good, because usually the season is 8. So
yeah, and before that, like, the seasons were, like, 22 episodes long.
Right.
And then season 6 was, like, a good 12 or so.
Hold on a second. 16 weeks? Like each
Well,
week?
15 weeks because there's 2 for this episode. But yeah, after that, an episode each week. So this is gonna go
like
into
3
the summer.
months?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. Okay, because the thing is, that's gonna overlap with it's gonna overlap with Loki. So we're gonna have 2 things to watch every Friday. That's a.
It's gonna literally be like Christmas for you. It'll be like, all right, which one are we choosing to watch first?
Because right before Falcon Winter Soldier ended, Invincible also came out. Invincible was coming out at the same time, so I had 2 things to watch. Did you watch Invincible?
I did not.
Dude, you should get it. You should watch it. And the thing is,
I think I saw your video about it. That's the one on Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's really like, it's good. No, it's like really good, and it's rated R, so it's like
even better.
It's even better.
Yeah.
And there's no pretext. Like you don't need to know anything before or after. Or anything like that. There's like you're starting early. This is the time to do it. So,
okay. I have something to watch now.
I mean, actually, there is stuff before. There's like comics, but it starts in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You now know I get you.
It's based off of the comics, so yeah.
Okay, interesting. I will have to get into it.
There's 8 episodes, and it's
that's not bad.
But it's an hour.
Okay.
20 minutes. You'll like it.
Okay, I trust you. Yeah. I trust you.
Is that? There's questions.
Oh my God.
I'm a little bit blind. I have my contacts in instead of. Whitney. Ahsoka leaving the Jedi made me cry so hard.
Same.
Have you seen the vintage Star Wars? They released it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, so I think what she's talking about is like the Ewok adventures. I haven't seen them, but it's like you just follow the Ewoks on Endor and they just go on little adventures. You just get to see a bunch of Ewoks. I haven't started watching them, but I've wanted to.
That came out today?
Those have been out actually for a while, if I remember. Yeah. So there's just a bunch of like little Star Wars projects that I didn't know were happening.
Because there was something that came out. I don't know if it came out today, but there was one that was like visit the worlds,
like biomes, and the fly-throughs.
I think that's so awesome. Like I'm definitely gonna watch that because it's just, and I gotta see it on a big screen.
Yes, for the experience.
Yes, for the experience. You know, I was talking to my family about theaters, and like they were like, "Oh, do you think theaters are gonna go out of style?" And it doesn't even matter if you have a theater at home or like really good sounds. It's the fact about being with people.
Yeah, it's
just the experience.
Yeah, it's all about the experience. Yeah. Like I think the pandemic has shown that like people are not going to abandon theaters. It's cool to watch at home right there and then and there, but like there's something about seeing it on a big screen and the sound. Yes, and then just like sitting in your chair after it, it's like, oh my God, that was so cool.
And then you hear other people how they felt about it, and it's just.
It's so much fun. Like that's just something I don't think will ever go away.
No, it won't. Like, and the thing is, I thought it would because they were like putting a bunch of stuff on streaming.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait to see Black Widow in theaters. I have to.
That has to be in theaters, and I think so many people have said this is like it can't not be in like the effect will not be the same if it's just released on Disney.
And especially, they are gonna do it on Disney Plus, but. It needs to be in theaters.
It needs to be seen in theaters somehow.
Mm-hmm. And it's the first MCU movie since 2019. So
yeah, so
we need something. Like the shows are great, the shows are good and stuff, but the movies it's just different.
The movies just always hit way different. Yeah. Like there's more time, they can take their time, they can just go more in depth. Like that's what the movies are. What always get you. It's like
yes, I'm wondering if once everything comes back to normal, I'm wondering if they're gonna put the shows in theaters, like because it's
that
a
could
movie
be really
experience.
Cool.
Like
6
hours.
They could honestly do it, like either run the entire season or like for Bad Batch, if they just run the 70-minute. I would pay money to go see the Bad Batch premiere in theaters. I would be like, tell me what time. Here's my money. Like,
what are we doing?
Give me my popcorn so I can just sit there and just shovel it and cry.
Did you have the AMC A-lister thing?
I don't think so. See, when I was at school, I never really went to the movies because like I didn't have money. I did go see Rocket Man like 3 times in theaters because like Elton John has a great place in my heart. But like I didn't go to the movies. My parents go to the movies way more than I do. But I think they like have something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Because we used to go to the movies every weekend. Like so we had to get the A-lister thing. So it's like every weekend like something came out. So
yeah.
I can't wait to get that again. Like AMC, I will give you my money. Like, so don't try to close down. Don't try to do any of that. Like,
also, like, I will support you by just buying your popcorn. Like, I may not be coming to see a movie, but like, I will buy the extra large popcorn. I will pay whatever.
I didn't like working there, but I liked
That's
sitting
fair.
in the theater. $7.25 for what?
Texas minimum wage.
Thank
Catch
you,
up.
Whitney, about our mugs. I bought them today actually because I'm like, we have to be on theme. And so,
I have my Star Wars shirt on. She has her Grogu shirt on.
Yes, it has pink in the background. So thank you.
I had a very Star Wars themed grad party. Like, we brought out the lightsaber. My grad cap was Star Wars. I was like, we're unconventional senior year calls for unconventional graduation and grad photos. Like, I don't make the rules.
What's your Instagram so people can see?
It is at SEdwards380, I believe. I never know my Instagram.
Yeah.
But we can put it in a description or I can comment with it. And then you can follow me on Twitter at the same handle at SEdwards380. And
Nice.
I put all my Star Wars stuff and all my journalism stuff on there.
Yeah.
But
She's a journalist, guys. You're getting your master's in it?
yeah, I have 1 year of my master's left. I graduated with my bachelor's and 1 year of grad school under my belt yesterday. So I'm almost done.
They should have waited one more day so it could be on Star Wars Day.
I know. I would have been. That would have been just way too perfect.
Right.
Like, I would have made a Star Wars quote and everything. But
Right,
'cause
yeah.
you know what? May 3rd works too. Like, I get to be happy for like the entire week.
Yeah. So that was good.
That was great.
There's more people, guys. Give us our comments and your reactions to the show.
Or questions about Star
yes,
Wars.
questions.
Like, we got you.
Because she knows everything Star Wars. I'm sorry, guys. That's why I had to bring her on here because she just knows. Like, you do all your podcasts and stuff. So I was actually watching. Okay, so I was nannying this morning, and I was watching Star Wars with Lucy.
I saw.
She's 2 years old. You need to start early.
Educate her early. She's got to grow up with it.
She was watching it. She was like sitting there and she was like looking at it because we were watching episode 2 because I really wanted to watch episode 3, but it's
episode
PG-13. So.
Yeah, but episode 2, I mean, that has Django, aka Tamora Morrison.
True.
So
She saw the lightsaber and stuff, and I was like, "That's Anakin." And I was like, "Can you say Anakin?" And she's like, "Anakin." Anakin. Yeah. I was like, "Okay, it's fine.
it's okay. You tried.
You tried." Yeah.
I was puppy sitting last week, and this puppy loves to watch like The Simpsons is his thing, and so I put on the Clone Wars because I was like, maybe we can just get him excited. He saw Admiral Trench, and he was just like, I could be into this. Like, he
Right?
actually watched, and I was like,
yes.
yes.
And with the second family, the boys are 5, and I was playing Star Wars, like the Star Wars theme, and they were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What is this?" Okay, explain it. Lucy doesn't know it. She's 2.
Yeah,
You're
she's young.
5
How do
now.
you not know what Star Wars is at least by your 5? Like,
Yeah. I almost talked to their cousin and be like, "So what's going on? Do I need to call CPS?"
Like-
That makes so funny. Like, yeah, so the kids don't know Star Wars, so snatch him. No. So funny. But yeah, they didn't know it. But I was playing music the whole time. Get them going.
yeah, you gotta educate them early. Like, one of my old internship supervisors is starting to show his kid Star Wars.
Yeah.
He texted me the other day. He's like, "Is it too early to show my son this episode?" And I'd be like, "Well, I'm bad with kids, so my goal is to say just go with it. But maybe the violence might be too much." Yeah.
No, it's fine. I feel like it's fine. I started watching Star Wars when I was like 5 or 6. Like, that's when we
Yeah.
started with episode 4. Was like, and I don't think there's any. It's really just violence. There's no like bad words or anything. And is
it's
it violence? Because
It's like a blurred line. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's guns and shooting, but it's like,
it's fine.
yeah.
Because the 5-year-olds, they knew all things Marvel, and I'm like, okay,
Star Wars knowledge, like,
get in there, right?
because like
So-
for me, Star Wars, I don't think Star Wars had always been like a part of my life somehow. I knew about it. Like, my dad is a big Star Wars fan, and then he showed me the movies, and I became a bigger fan than him. But like, I think I actually watched the movies when I was in like 4th grade is when I started. So like, I was probably like 7 or 8,
Right.
probably 8. And I had only really known Lego Star Wars like episodes 1, 2, and 3. So I
Okay.
knew of the story, but I didn't know of like all of it. So my dad was like, "You know what? Sit down. We're starting with episode 4."
Let's go.
And
Yeah.
like I just remember there were some things that like weren't a shock. Like, when we find out that Darth Vader is Luke's father, that was something I somehow already knew. So
Yeah.
it was just like the shock wasn't as much as people who have never seen Star
yeah.
Wars before.
I wonder how my kids will react because I don't even remember how I reacted. I just feel like I just knew.
Yeah, it was like just
So I don't
knowledge
know.
that you knew going into Star Wars.
Yeah.
So this was a TikTok trend for a while where it was like, what was your reaction when you found out this about Star Wars? And it was like, it was just like common knowledge.
Yeah.
But so yeah, like, if I have kids, like, they will be introduced to Star Wars very early on, or at least the characters.
Yeah.
But like, I want to save as much of the story for like when they can comprehend the movie.
You know, yeah, I might do that. I might like wait a little bit. I want them to, especially 4, 5, and 6. I want them to really feel it.
Especially because I fuel off of other people's reactions. Like when we were watching, I'm just like, how is she gonna react to this part?
That's funny, dude.
Like I love the adrenaline I get. It's like, yes. So that same has to happen with my kids.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be the thing is with so many movies coming out. My kids, even with DC, even though DC is trash right now, they need to know what's happening with DC. They need to know Marvel.
They gotta know.
They need to know Star Wars. So it's gonna be so many things. They're gonna be like, okay, Mom, please. I'm like, I don't care. Get into it. Like,
We're sitting and watching this movie
right now. Yeah. So my favorite movie, because I just watched it so much as a kid, is Episode 3. I just love
Episode 3 is just such a good one. It's just such a it's just crazy. I think at one point we just had 6 movies and that's it. Like
yeah. They really messed up 7, 8, and 9. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what took me out of Star Wars. Was like, okay, you're not even trying anymore.
Yeah, like I appreciate 7, 8, and 9, but they're not my favorite. Like there are characters in there that I'm like, yeah, and I really liked seeing Luke, Leia, and Han come back. It just, I don't know, there was something about the prequels, probably because of Clone Wars, but like prequels and Clone Wars is like my favorite era. Just because there's so much transition happening. We're seeing how it plays into the originals, and there's just so much backstory that it's like, wow.
I think that's the thing. They try. I feel like they try more now to make the prequels good. With the Clone Wars and all this stuff. And I feel like 7, 8, and 9 just feels like fan service, where it's like, we just want to make money. And the thing is, yeah, Luke, Leia, and Han were in it, but I don't feel like they were in it. You know what I mean? I feel like it was like, hey,
it was
here's
very
this person.
different.
Yeah, especially with Luke. Don't even get me started with episode 8. Episode 8 was just like, why would you do that?
See, I like 8 and 9, but just because they just felt, I don't know. I think I liked that it was more continued story. Like there are a lot of things I would have changed about 9. Like if Anakin showed up instead of Han, I would have been like, it's over for me. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I was already kind of a teary mess while watching 9 because like everything was ending. It was closing up, and we had Leia passing away because Carrie Fisher died. So like, I think it was all like the background knowledge playing into the movie that just made.
That's probably
I don't know. There was just something about 8 and 9 that I was just like, wow, I liked this, but not in a way where it was like, this is my favorite Star Wars trilogy.
I don't know. It didn't do it for me, but that's interesting because it's probably because of the backstory that you're like in it. But I think that they need to just. We love Luke, Leia, and Han, but it's time to put them away. Especially since the 70s, okay? The 70s, we've known these people, so time to go to a new story, and that's why I love The Mandalorian. So
Mandalorian just brought that whole era into just a new perspective
of Star Wars.
Like we see what life is like after the Death Star, because we just assumed everything is great. Like, woo, rebellion won. But now we see what it's like for the bounty hunters, where it's like, we're just trying to survive.
Yeah. You know, that reminds me, with the Bad Batch, I thought that they were all going to go rogue, and I thought it was going to be from the perspective of the Empire. Just like everything that happened from the perspective of the Empire. That's what I was like wanting, but then I was like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Because like, I'm a Darksider, period. Period. Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, General Grievous. I just love the dark side. So I was like, okay, I'm ready to see
like the pain, angst. We want it all.
I want everything. They're still good guys. So I'm like, okay, we'll see where we go.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think they'll turn back. What would just hurt is if like the show ends with the Bad Batch becoming bad. Like
That'd
going
be so good though.
It would be so good, but it would hurt so bad.
I know, yeah.
Like I'm a light sider. I'm the complete opposite. I'm like Jedi. Like as much as I would love to be a dark sider, I'm like, no, like I'm a Jedi.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation so many times. People are like, no, you're a Jedi. Like you are not. You are the light side. You are not dark side. But like I'm always on the team. Like what would be the most angst filled? Like like I need tears. I need to feel like Dave Filoni ripped out my heart.
Right.
Like that's how you know you caught me.
That was so interesting though. Like I hope to see Darth Vader. Please, like give us something. We
end of Clone Wars, we saw Darth Vader. I was not expecting that at all.
We barely get to see this guy. Like, and he's like one of the most famous like villains. So just give us more.
Yes.
Please.
And like, we see him in Fallen Order. Like we saw him at the end of Rogue One, and he shows up in the game Fallen Order.
So
and like those, I feel like we really see just like his anger and his fierceness. Like he's really slept on because people just think like, oh, it's whiny Anakin. No, like it's Darth Vader. Homeboy will just choke you right there and kill you. He has no remorse.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want no mercy, no remorse. I just want to see. Okay, let's talk about 4, 5, and 6. The way that he was choking people across the galaxy.
And then
the galaxy? Like, that's what I need. Like,
I just want to see that level of Vader. Like, I just feel like Vader has been very tamed down because he's got like, I was having this talk with my sister where it's like, he's pretty much jealous of, this is where he could play in Kenobi is, Obi-Wan has been there for all of his kids' milestones.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader's been out here, you know, being Darth Vader around the galaxy. Like, Obi-Wan was there when Luke and Leia were born. He gave Luke Anakin's lightsaber. And, you know, Yoda was there to train Luke, even though, fun tea, Yoda wanted Leia to be the Jedi and not Luke because he thought Luke was weak.
Oof.
But... yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's where the books come into play because you kind of see some perspective. But like Anakin just has not been there at all.
Yeah. So I want to see him be savage. In this
Obi-Wan movie, sad.
I do not want any kind of mercy, nothing from Darth Vader in this show. Because if they do that, I'd be like, you're not sticking to the script. You're not sticking to his mentality that we see in 4, 5, and 6. So,
well, one thing that we were thinking is like, it wouldn't feel the same if Darth Vader and Obi-Wan met in person in the show. It just, so the real tension would be like if Darth Vader and Obi-Wan connect in Force signatures again, but like they don't actually meet. Like the tension of that could just be so...
like with Rey and Kylo?
Yeah, except because they're saying like, you know, it could be about, you know, rematch of the century, and it's like, well, we kind of get that in episode 4. So, like, what would this battle be? Like, what would this, you know, Darth Vader is like, I haven't seen Obi-Wan in God knows how long in episode 4. Right. So, like, Kenobi, if they meet again, it kind of just, like, takes away.
I don't know, because if this show is going to happen 10 years later, right? That's not too... I feel like that's fine because 10 years... Okay, so 10 years later, right? And then from that 10 years to episode 4, I feel like it's, like, 20, 30 years because like Gamer's old. Like
true.
And, you know, so I feel like it would be fine. I don't know.
I think the tension of just Darth Vader trying to find Obi-Wan, him becoming obsessed with finding Obi-Wan, it will be what, you know, drives him. And Obi-Wan's out here just like, I'm just trying to hide and watch Luke. I also want depressed Obi-Wan. Like, I need to see sad Obi-Wan. That's what I've been waiting for.
That's a better context where it's Anakin trying to find Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan's like, chill. Like, relax.
He's like, leave me alone, please. Don't kill your son. And I've been reading the Kenobi book. The Kenobi book is legend, so it's not canon. But I can see how there was a leak where, like, they used the similar ceremony for the Kenobi show that the book had. So it's like, are they just going off of the book and making it canon, even though it's not canon anymore?
Right.
And so, like, you know, there was a lot of speculation, like, is Qui-Gon going to show up? But in the book... you know, Obi-Wan's just trying to meditate and connect with Qui-Gon. A lot of it is him meditating and not having any success. And you just kind of see him break down like, what's the point of this anymore? Yeah. So that could also be what the show is about, is Obi-Wan just trying to connect with Qui-Gon while also watching over Luke. Like, he's just at a battle with himself. He doesn't know what to do with himself.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to think right now. I'm trying to remember everything. Because, hold on. Okay, yeah. So Qui-Gon Jinn is Obi-Wan's master. In the end of episode 3, what's his name takes Luke as his child? No, he doesn't.
No, so Obi-Wan takes Luke to go give to Owen and Beru Lars, who are Anakin's, oh my gosh, they're like stepbrothers or something. They're related. I forgot how.
Oh.
But so he gives them to, he knows that he can't raise Luke because just the Force strength will attract Vader, like danger. So while Bail Organa, who's a senator, takes Leia, Obi-Wan takes Luke to Tatooine to go be raised by someone else, but he's gonna watch over him.
Like,
kind of like, yeah. His plan was like they would raise him, and then Obi-Wan would train him in the Force. But Uncle Owen was like, "Look, dude, you can't be creeping around my farm. I need you to get out and leave us alone." So, like I said, I just want to see sad, depressed Obi-Wan because he thought, I'm just gonna raise Luke. This will be great,
right?
And then he can't.
Because I'm trying to think about the ages, because I think that they're just kind of gonna breeze over how old Obi-Wan is in episode 4. He's old, okay? So
I mean, episode 4, he looks really old, but he's only like 54.
Gamer is
depression just came.
Depression, yeah.
It hit him hard. The sadness, losing, like, it hit him.
Okay, that makes sense.
So.
Because he was like in his 30s and, okay, well.
Yeah, like episode 3, he was around like 32, 34, so... in this show, he will be like in his 40s.
Okay, so then yeah, I guess that I guess Darth Vader and him can't show up.
It would just be like, yeah, would be cool, but I don't know. It just feels like it'd be kind of weird.
Well, this would be so interesting. And the thing is, I don't understand how Hayden Christensen is going to come into it because Hayden is not Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I think that we're just going to have a scene where like Darth Vader has his helmet off and he's meditating and like we just see the angst on his face. Because we don't see Darth Vader without his helmet a lot.
Right.
So like I think they're going to set the emotion by like us seeing, you know, destroyed Hayden, which, that's...
I love Hayden Christensen. I'm so happy he's coming back. Like my one of my favorite like guilty pleasure movies is Jumper. So like...
Oh...
That's such a good movie. And they were supposed to make like a part 2 and stuff like that. It never happened.
He's also just a wholesome man. Like he reached out to Kelly Marie Tran when she was getting bullied for being on Star Wars. And he was like, you know, hey.
Oh, the Asian.
Yeah, she was in the sequels and she got a lot of racist backlash. Like I hate what happened to her because I really liked her. Mm-hmm. And so he had kind of like reached out to her and was like, it's okay. Like it hurts now. Yeah, he's like, it hurts. And I know, you know, I'm white, so I can't relate to what you're going through. But like, it does get better. It's okay. So I was just like, oh.
It does because people are now defending the prequels. People are like, wait, the prequels are actually good because 7, 8, 9 weren't as good. But
it's almost like they just came out at the wrong time. Like maybe if the technology had been different and maybe if like there was just more emotion in them, they probably could have done way better. But it was just, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd never, even when I was younger, I never understood why people hated it so much. Like,
Me too.
I understand episode 1, but 2 and 3, like, come on. 3?
I just was happy that we got story. Like, I was happy to see the Republic and the Jedi, because that's probably the part of Star Wars that fascinates me the most, is like how they work.
And that's why I like these Marvel shows, is because like we get to see more of just them being them, like people, you know, instead of just action all the time. So like I think that people are like, we want more Star Wars and more lightsabers. I'm like, yes, I want more lightsabers, but also story.
Like I want more emotion.
Yeah.
So, and that's what, like, going back to Bad Batch, like that's what we're seeing is the clones. We're seeing more humanized clones. Like we're seeing they have casual lives. They come home and they kick their feet up and they goof off with each other. They have food fights.
Food fights and stuff. Yeah.
So
this was a good episode. Me and my dad for DNA will definitely be talking about the newest episode that's coming out this Friday. And so I think I'm going to like this show. I'm going to continue to go with it. We got some comments. From the D and DNA from my dad. Did the first episode of the Bad Batch feel like the Clone Wars or like something new?
So the coolest thing is like they're not shying away from the fact that this is a spin-off of the Clone Wars. Like even when we open sequence, it says Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and it like burns away to the Bad Batch. So
and they had the same like narrator opening.
They had him, and you know they didn't have the little fortune cookie saying at the beginning, but you can tell that we're just trying to close the chapter on Clone Wars and go into something new. I just love that they brought back the art style and the animation style because it's so good.
But yeah, I think that's so different from other people. And like the thing is, that's kind of the problem I had with Invincible going to that show, where the animation was just kind of bland and it's very like when you watch the show, it's like kind of like very straightforward, and they were just trying to put all their money into the action scenes. But with Clone Wars, like you can see the drawings, and I love that.
I love how you can see the grit, and you watch that evolve over time because season 1 animation is completely different from season 7 and now. Like it's gotten so much better. But it's just so cool to watch how it's just gotten better.
Right.
So
do you feel like the show, like even the structure and like just the show itself is the story as well, is like Clone Wars?
It feels like it. Like it just feels good to be in the same universe, but we're transitioning out of it. Like we still have the animation. The music is spot on.
Yeah.
Like the music just hits hard. So very much so.
And and also speaking about the animation and stuff, the lighting for animation, the lighting in this episode was so good. Like, and the thing is, it's fake lighting. Like, what do you have?
It's like all the shading and the colors they use, like, they don't hold back. It's there. Like, they don't hold back on animation, the details. Like, the scene where on the planet when it's dark, all the light on, like, Hunter and Crosshair's eyes. It was just like...
And even Omega. I love that
that
was on her.
Yeah.
And the thing is, answering the story-wise when it comes to... the show, I think it does feel like Clone Wars. And I feel like I wanted something different. Like I wanted something darker. And when I saw that
it'll get there.
I hope so. And when I saw that it was labeled PG, I'm like, we're still doing PG. Like, okay, that's fine.
I don't know if they'll branch out of PG. Like, I think just for Disney's sake and for Star Wars' sake, they're going to stay there. But from what my podcast co-host has told me is, it's gonna get dark. It's gonna get pretty, they said, like, you thought Clone Wars was dark because Clone Wars gets dark. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be like a next step that just kind of like, oh.
Okay, yeah.
So I think we just gotta wait.
Person. I am like, I'm sorry, I like to go dark.
Same. Like I said, I need the emotions. I need to go there because I feel like Clone Wars in the beginning definitely kind of held off because they were, experimenting. How far can we go? And then we get to season 7 and it's just like,
execute order 6. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the show is definitely gonna get there.
Yeah. But the story was awesome in Invincible. Yes, the story is really good in the show Invincible. So, watch Invincible, guys. Don't even what I'm saying with the animation. It's good.
Do it anyway.
Yes.
I'm gonna do it, so you should do it.
Vader will be an Obi-Wan. Good. Yes. 9 was trash. Guys, talking about episode 9. Yes. Okay. Elizabeth Pfeiffer.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Liz.
Oh, that's your friend? I love that. Okay. I had to leave, so if you already talked about this, but what are you most looking forward to in the Obi-Wan series? Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Sorry, I'm wearing contacts. My eyes are trash. But yeah, we talked about Obi-Wan. Watch Invincible. Watch this show. And I'm excited because I'm like, I want to get back into Star Wars. I want to get back into something other than Marvel because I feel like my teachers are done. Because like I've had the same teacher. I've had the same teacher for 2 semesters, and both semesters I was like, it's gonna be Marvel themed. You already know. I literally was like, you remember me from last semester? I'm literally gonna be talking about Marvel.
It's back. We ain't stopping here.
You already know. So it'll be exciting to write a paper about Star Wars. So
yes, I'm so excited for you.
Where are we at? We're at 1 hour and 11 minutes. There's 4 people on here. I don't want to leave y'all. What else do y'all want us to talk about? I think that's it thow.
Yeah, we covered a lot. We went across the entire Star Wars timeline quite literally. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. You know where to find Sarah. Can you say it again?
Yeah, so you can find me at boardwalktimes.net, or you can find me on Twitter at sedwards380. I put all of our podcasts, This is the Waycast, on there. They come out every Friday, kind of in the morning and afternoon, and we recap the Bad Batch episodes. Mm-hmm. We started with Mandalorian Season 2, if you want to go listen to those. But yeah, that's how you can find me.
Yes. And then also make sure to subscribe to our Put With Leanne highlights channel. If you couldn't watch this entire podcast, I'll make sure to clip us talking about like the Bad Batch and then talking about other stuff. It'll be like a 10-minute quick video for you to watch. Subscribe there. We're at 14 subscribers,
Woo!
Which is still great. Okay. So yes, thank you. Make sure to look in the link down below for merch. Since Sarah came onto my podcast, she'll be getting a free shirt. So if anyone else wants to come onto the podcast, follow me on Instagram at PutWithLeanne. That's it, guys. That was exciting. Yay. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Ooh, bye. That was awesome.
That was so much fun.